Welcome to the MindShift Movement Podcast, hosted by Alan Johnson. On this podcast, Alan will be sharing with you empowering, effective, and actionable knowledge within the fitness and mindset space to help you, the listener, become the very best version of you physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now, get ready to dive into today's episode.
Hey guys, happy New Year's Eve. Alan here. I hope you're all very, very well and you're having a great week and you had a lovely Christmas with your friends and family. It's been a little while since I went and done the Wim Hof Workshop, but what I wanted to do was I've put together some key notes and takeaways from the event, and I just thought that I might try and provide you guys with a little bit of value. Some of you might take something away. And I'm also, it's going to be the first time that I'm doing a Facebook Live, and I'm going to use the content for a podcast. So yeah, super exciting. I can see Paul McKenzie. Hey, how you doing? See you're tuned in. Can't see if anyone else has tuned in just yet. So give us a thumbs up, give us a wave if you're watching, guys. If you are watching live, just comment live. And if you're watching on the replay later on today, comment replay, let me know that you've seen the video. So yeah, it was an incredible workshop. At the end of the workshop, obviously diving into the ice cold bath, which was interesting. Good morning, Will. How are you? Let me know how your week's going, guys. So yeah, I'm going to get started. So like I say, going to be speaking to you about the Wim Hof Workshop, my experience, some of the benefits, and just some of the key takeaways from the event. So it was a guy called Will Frost who was the facilitator for the event. So you have to go and personally train with Wim Hof himself. I'm sure he went to Poland to go and do the training. And he said it was really incredible. I think it costs a fair amount of money to be able to do it as well. And now that enables him to be able to teach other people the Wim Hof method. So Wim Hof is a Dutch athlete. If you've never heard of him before, just simply Google him. Go and look at some of the achievements, what he's done. Things like he's climbed Everest in just his shorts. He has run half marathons, like barefoot in the snow. Someone said that he's run a half marathon in the desert with no water. So he swims in ice lakes. He's done all sorts of things that are just superhuman, super crazy. And he's kind of designed this specific breathing method and cold exposure, and he's kind of method of breathing and living, and I'm sure he's not been unwell for like 10 years now, which is just amazing. So there's three main parts to the Wim Hof method. You've got breath work, you've got cold exposure, and you've got mindset. And Will Frost actually added an extra one to the bunch as well, which was community. And another word that I associate with community is proximity, and I'll share how powerful proximity is a little bit later on. So breath work, to begin with, some of the benefits is positive stress for our respiratory system. It helps improve our pH levels. So an imbalance of pH levels, which means where bad bacteria can grow and infections can occur. So there's two parts of the nervous system. You've got the sympathetic, our body preparing for action, and then you've got parasympathetic, which is our body going into a restful state. So our out breath stimulates the parasympathetic system, which is an opportunity for us to calm ourselves down, so calm our body down, which is a great tool when you're exposed to cold exposure. So, for example, at the end of the workshop, when we had to get in the ice bath for 2 minutes, So literally a massive like pool that they had. They had 2 pools filled like halfway with water, and then literally about 15 to 20 bags of ice in there. We had to let it set for about 5 minutes. So when we got in there, it was so cold. And that's where the out-breath was really, really vital, to take our focus away from the real cold and focus more on the out-breath to calm our bodies down. So I can see a few people are tuning in. If you ever have done a Wim Hof workshop before, let me know, leave your comments. If you've done anything similar before, let me know. I know there's a few people that do this. So both the breath work and the cold exposure has been proven to reduce inflammation within our body, and inflammation is linked to many chronic diseases. So of course, getting the cold exposure done each day is going to positively help our health, as well as the breath work as well, which I'll go into a little bit more depth in a minute. So white blood cell production, which are cells of the immune system that are involved in protecting the body against both infectious disease and foreign invaders. So again, one of the benefits of doing the cold exposure and the breath work, there's over 100,000 kilometers of veins and capillaries within our body, which is absolutely crazy. So for anyone that has personally been to the Amsterdam Bodyworks, or I think there's a Bodyworks in London now. I've personally been to the Amsterdam one, and it is so interesting. There's parts of real human bodies that have been cut open, and you can see what's inside. Let me know if you've been to Bodyworks before, if you've even heard about it and you would like to go. It's a truly amazing experience. It's a little bit crazy, a little bit weird, but it's really, really cool. So yeah, we've got over 100 kilometers of veins and capillaries running through our human body, which is, I can't remember how many times around the world that is, but it's at least once around the whole entire world, which is phenomenal. So the next kind of part I wanted to talk about was the mindset part. So some of the benefits for our minds are better creativity, a happier lens on life, which is obviously really great to have, more life resilience. So being able to put yourself in situations such as an ice cold bath, ice cold showers, and be able to push through the discomfort will enable you to transfer it into your everyday life, where you have challenges come up and you're able to overcome and work through those challenges in a better and more efficient way. So better inner talk management as well, because the guy that was running the workshop said it just doesn't get easier for him. He still has that negative Nelly voice in his head every time he's about to do an ice bath, every time he's about to do an ice cold shower. But he just said that he's better at improving his inner self-talk. Let me know if you've ever had that negative inner self-talk before. We've all had it. It's uncomfortable at times, and sometimes we want to just give in to that voice. But those that go on and achieve great things in life are those that are able to manage that voice and push through and take action regardless of what it's saying. So this is a good one, was about smiling. Whether you smile and it's fake or real, your body releases serotonin, which will naturally make us feel better. Okay, so on another one of my podcast episodes, I've shared the benefits of serotonin. It's one of the happy chemicals that our body can naturally release. So whether you smile more, whether it's fake or real, you're naturally just going to feel better. So that's a really great tool to have in your bag. If you're ever feeling a little bit down, a little bit uneasy or whatever, it's a great tool to use. So we can focus on our mind and shut our mind out. We can focus on our breath and shut our mind out. So such as like meditation. So I've done a little bit of meditation this morning. Literally for me, just 2 minutes is enough for me. And just taking your mind off of the thoughts and focusing on your breath. It's a really, really great tool. And also with the cold exposure, your body will release brown fat, okay? And brown fat eats white fat. So white fat is a kind of bad fat that sits around your tummy area or around your body, the fat that people kind of want to get rid of. So the cold exposure and the breathing technique helps release this brown fat that actually uses the white fat for fuel. So next up, I want to talk to you a bit more about the breathing technique. So firstly, when you see a baby laying down, this was the analogy that the guy used on the day. So when you see a baby lying down on their back, you see their tummy moving up and down whilst they're breathing, right? And as we get older, for some reason, and you might have experienced this as well, and you probably will right now if you think about how you're breathing. What we tend to do as we get older is to start breathing through our chest more than our diaphragm. Okay, so we're kind of limiting how much oxygen we can take in. So it's about focusing on your breath and starting to breathe more through your diaphragm, coming up into your chest. Okay, so next up, I'm going to go through the actual breathing technique itself. So just you've got to make sure that you're sitting down or lying down, making sure that you're not driving, of course. Obviously, you don't want to be dangerous. You don't want to be swimming at the same time. So in a bit of a controlled manner. So you want to be taking 30 to 40 deep breaths, coming up through your diaphragm into your chest. Okay, nice big breaths. And on the final breath, so 30 to 40 deep breaths, on the final breath, you want to be releasing as much of the oxygen as you can. So breathing out as much as you can, and then holding holding at the bottom of the breath for as long as you possibly can. And then go back to normal, slow breathing after you've done that. And you can do multiple rounds of this. 3 or 4 is a good target to have. So you can possibly have some lightheadedness. You can also get cramping in your hands and feet, which I really experienced on the day. So literally, my hands and a few others there were just cramping up. Okay, it's where your capillaries are coming really, really tight. So it's kind of normal if this happens to you. So we're taking through 4 rounds of breath work on a day with calming music. The facilitator, Will, was talking us through the process at the same time. And on that day as well, guys, as a lot of you will know, I lost my father this year, back in April. And it was actually his birthday on the 21st of December when I done this workshop. Okay, so Will did say, and a few other people did experience it as well, but he said you might feel a little bit emotional while you're going through the breath work. And I actually had tears flowing down my face on about the 3rd or 4th round of doing the breath work. And, you know, I'm not afraid to share this with you guys. You know, men can cry as well. But what I was experiencing was just I couldn't get my dad out of my head. And it was just as if I was sat there with him in his flat and we was just having a conversation. And, you know, it was just really an emotional time. So, yeah, it was good to release that trauma from my body. And, yeah, it was a bit of an experience. So, the big finish to the event was the ice bath, which we was all building up ourselves up to. So there was these 2 big, what they called, like paddling pools, but not, because they was really tall, like small but really tall. So there was 2 of them, so we went into 2 teams. I opted to go first within my team. I just wanted to kind of get it out of the way. So while we was just standing there outside, there was water already in the pools. We had to fill them up with ice, about 15 to 20 bags in each pool. We just all stood there in shorts and bikinis for the ladies, and we was all just shivering before we even got into the water. There were people watching from their balconies thinking, like, what are these nutters doing? And it was a kind of strange experience. And this is where proximity and community is so powerful. Now, when on the day, it was really hard, going straight into the water. It was ice cold, guys. Like, my whole body was just tingling. It was a really weird sensation. Other people felt like pain, but it wasn't really pain for me. It was just real strong tingling. And I managed to get through the whole 2 minutes, focusing on my breath, nice, deep, big breaths. And I was so happy once I got it done. There was a few people that didn't actually manage to do the whole 2 minutes, but some done 30 seconds, others done a minute. So it was a really hard challenge. So, so glad that I got it done myself. Closing my eyes really helped as well. Helped me just to eliminate the focus on the ice and the water and focusing more on my breath. And yeah, I've already shared how powerful proximity is, because put it this way, right? I found it easier getting into that ice bath at the workshop compared to when I went live on Facebook on Christmas Day in the morning. It was freezing cold. I went down to the beach. In my head, I was like, right, I'm going to go and get in the sea today, get some of that cold exposure. It's Christmas Day. And I actually found it harder doing that, but I went live on Facebook, so I would have looked like a bit of a fool if I was like, yeah guys, I'm about to jump in the sea, it's going to be ice cold, blah blah, and then I didn't actually do it. I would have felt like a bit of a fool. So the power of proximity was I was at the beach by myself, no one else was there, so I had to really push through what my mind was telling me not to go in because it's freezing cold, you nutter, to actually just diving in, getting in there, and I lasted about 90 seconds, which was plenty of time for me. Trust me, it was actually stinging that day. I think from the currents just kind of hitting me at the same time, but I got it done, and that's the main thing. So once I'd finished the workshop as well, we were heading down to Romford to go to my dad's local pub, go and spend time with the family and kind of celebrate the life of my dad. And on the way up there, I went and picked up my fiancée and my little boy, and I drove up there. My level of awareness and focus was like up here. It was mega high. I was so focused, so aware of what was going on around me. I was really energized. I felt on like another level. So that morning I actually felt really unwell, and to the point where I could have easily not went to the workshop. I felt really rough, and that had all disappeared. I felt really great. So after doing many rounds of the breath work, after exposing myself to the cold water, I felt really amazing. And since the workshop, I've actually been keeping up the ice cold exposure as well. So my showers now, I don't have a hot shower anymore. I actually have it at like mild to cold. Wash myself first, and then literally I keep turning down the shower little by little, and before I know it, I've got freezing cold water exposing onto my body, and I'm getting all the benefits that I've already shared with you. And yeah, that's it really, guys. Like I said, I wanted to share this episode and Facebook Live with you, just because you might take a bit of value away from it. I'm happy for any of you to message me, email me if you have any more questions. I would gladly do this workshop again, happily pay for it. It was well worth the investment that I made to this event, and investment in our physical, mental, emotional health is everything. You have to invest in yourself to be able to move yourself forwards with your life, basically, guys. So yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Other than that, have a fantastic new year, whatever you're getting up to, and I'll see you in 2020.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the MindShift Movement Podcast. If you'd like to support the show, please subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or Google Play. Share this episode with someone you feel would benefit from the content. And please leave a 5-star review wherever you download your podcasts. You can also contact Alan at ajfitmindcoaching@gmail.com or on Facebook at AJ Fitness and Mindset Coaching and on Instagram at Alan_Johnson_coaching. We'll catch you on the next episode.